Alrighty, folks, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Tuesday, February 17th. The NBA All-Star Weekend has come and gone. We watched the dunk contest die in front of our eyes. We watched the NBA All-Star Game maybe get a little bit revived. Otherwise, kind of a slow weekend in sports when you got no football around. It's an adjustment period. We're in an adjustment period right now, waiting for the combine to start up. I don't even know what else is really happening. I mean, Lane Kiffin was on a float for LSU stuff. I mean, that's how bored we are. We're talking about, I'm seeing Lane Kiffin on an LSU float in a parade. That's our football news. But hey, we have Valentine's this last week though. Iman, what'd you treat your lady to? How are you doing?
Oh, we didn't do anything. It's
Nice.
track. It's track season. When you're in, this is championship season actually. So state championships for me is tomorrow. So it's championship season. I lock in. When I lock in, is lock in. But she coached the team too, so we're locked in on that part of this season. But yeah, I'm with you on the dunk contest. But the only thing I don't understand is Matt McClung is clearly the best. Now, granted, I get it. Y'all can't get a team to put him on a 10-day contract. So what dancers do? They hire choreographers to do the dance for videos, or hey, I'm done the show. Can you do? Just hire him to give people ideas. Because did you see the video that he put out the day after the contest?
Yeah.
Just hire him to give these people the dunks that he's doing. He go over with them all week because he was doing his reach
cool stuff
behind the back. He's creative. So either put him in it and let him do it. But I don't know.
You know why he wasn't in it? He's a G Leaguer. They don't want G Leaguers embarrassing their pro guys. And that would have happened because that was the most abysmal dunk contest I've ever seen. I'll get into it in the top 10 and 10, a little bit of recap of it as we always do on a Tuesday. But I think the bigger thing coming out of like All-Star Weekend in general is like NBA fans in general have kind of boiled over with all the Adam Silver stuff, the current state of the NBA product, his vision for the league. We got Adam Silver out here talking about how we can better incorporate AI into basketball, and rather than like fixing what has become maybe the most unwatchable professional sport out of like all the big professional sports. It's gone so bad. He's talking about, all right, well, we want you to see the game from the first person point of view, from the player's eyes with this AI stuff. And then every single fan's going to have a totally different perspective and view of the game because of it. And so I was like, what sounds more dystopian than that? Millions of fans all having millions of different viewpoints of the game, rather than what do fans want? They want a collective shared experience of an enjoyable product, something they can all come back, relate to. And Adam Silver's like, no, well, how can we make sure everyone has a different experience while also force feeding you ads and putting your social media feed in front of you all at the same time, rather than, crazy idea, just fixing the product first. It seems like NBA fans.
I think they lack superstars though. I think that's the big problem too. You gotta think I came up in the 80s where Bird, Magic, Jordan, AI, then it moved on to like LeBron and Steph. I just think they don't have their best players are like personality guys. Like Luka is a superstar, but he's not a personality. Nobody gives a fuck about anything outside of him playing basketball. Jokic, not a personality. Even Wemby to me is nothing. But before we go, guess where Matt McClung is from though? VA. Can I make this shit up? I'm not biased.
They all come out of there.
Listen, Matt McClung is from Virginia. I cannot make this shit up. So yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, he should have been in it. He would have won. He could have done it with like halfway asleep. But yeah, the other thing with all the Silver stuff, right? The best way I kind of thought about it, and I put it in Sidelinr's newsletter, is it's like his entire house is burning down, but Silver's out in the back, assembling a hot tub. It doesn't make any sense what he's trying to do. Now he's talking about, oh, well, let's just abolish the draft and let's make teams have to pay for the players rather than drafting because, oh, that's a great idea. So all the top rookies are going to end up in LA market or New York markets. And
I like that.
You know why I hate it? Because brands are going to get involved and brands are going to say like, well, we'll pay you more and we'll get you a better deal if you go in this market or this market and this. It's going to it's going to screw the sport worse than it is because every team that's outside of a big market is done. And then think about the teams with limited money to spend. It's just
Austin, the 80s, Bird, Magic, the NBA was saved by two guys, East Coast, West Coast, big markets. the 90s, Jordan played in Chicago. There were no listen, he was winning all the fucking championships. People don't care. They want to see superstar. I think Shea being in Oklahoma City is a travesty. Wemby playing in San Antonio. I'm with that. I'm with that. Baseball is getting back to where it used to be. Why? Because the Dodgers are relevant. Football. Just look at it.
Football was beautiful. Look at all the parity in football this year. We had no idea who was going to win the Super Bowl up until like those last couple weeks when the Seahawks really started to ascend. Shit, we didn't even know what was going to happen in the AFC all the way until like at the final game. And that's what made it more entertaining is having, I mean, think about college football in the ranks. What do we love seeing? We like new teams in the top 10. We like new teams in the playoffs. No one wants to keep seeing the same LA Lakers, the same Boston Celtics, because there's still 30 other fan bases or 29 other fan bases, 20 other fan bases.
A big brand was in the Super Bowl, Austin. The New England Patriots is a big brand. Whether they're having bad years or not, they're a big brand. The LA Rams, big brand. Seattle, not so much, but I'm just telling you, people want to see superstars. And I bet you, though, this Super Bowl probably viewership wasn't probably the highest in years. Because they tried to say the Bad Bunny was the highest. They lied. It was Kendrick Lamar. But, I mean, I just think superstars, I like that idea. I think AJ DeBanza should not get caught in Utah. The league is not going to be bigger if AJ get put in Utah. If Darren Peterson get caught somewhere nobody cares about, it's not going to happen. He needs to be playing in LA, Chicago, big.
Let me ask you this then. Why does it work for every other sport? Why can't the NBA just they ruined everything with how they readjusted the lottery system. They essentially enforced tanking with their whole lottery system, and that's all broken. So why does it work in the NFL? Why does it work in baseball?
Does it really work?
There's not people complaining about the product and the tanking in any of these sports. It's all NBA where we're talking about the product is terrible. The tanking is excessive and visible, but somehow we have to try to recreate the wheel for them when there's obvious things from other leagues that work that we've been doing forever that the NBA just won't do. And it's like, almost like there's an outlier here type of thing.
Did Eli Manning choose where he wanted to play, whether it's a draft or not? Now and they've been doing it for years. John Elway say, I will go play baseball if the fucking Jets draft. They've been doing it for years. I think kids should be able to choose where they want to play, where they want to start their careers. And once again, superstar athletes need to be in big markets. That's the only way to market them. That's the only way to build the brand up. Like I said, I'm with that. If your team is terrible, your fucking team is terrible. I don't want to play for y'all.
But your team's always going to be bad then if you can never afford. And if brands, the problem
went back to college because he doesn't want to play for the Jets. So once again, it's still a draft, but they're choosing Austin.
Yeah, but again, where I come from is brands are going to get involved and brands are going to influence deals. And that's a problem because brands are going to force feed teams into the big markets. And it's just going to further. And what do fans hate more than anything? Saying the same 2-3 teams all the time. That's all NBA will be. That's all NBA wants. Honestly, they have no idea what to do to actually improve the product on the court. They just say like, well, if our best teams are good, our biggest market teams are good, then we're good. Who cares about anything else? Clearly, Silver has no idea how to fix the problem at this point.
The only thing, Austin, they'll never fix the problem on the court because they pay them too much money now. So when you gave these NBA players all this money, you gave them so much power. When you gave them all the money to generate the money for you, they have the power. The product is bad because the players are doing fuck shit, choosing when to play, when not to play, when to play hard, when not to play hard. And now you got the coaches doing the thing. But I get them because they're like, if we don't feed into the athletes, we lose them. They leave us in 2-3 years anyway. So we might as well. I think the product will never go back to being good basketball because they're paying them too much. You see James Harden. If you don't pay him, he's leaving your city. So you got to either pay him and let him look like shit in the playoffs, or you let these rookies from day one choose where they want to play. And like I said, parity's cool, but believe it or not, the Dallas Cowboys is still the most profitable team in the world because people don't really give a fuck. They want to see their team.
That's all. Well, here's the other thing too. And, yeah, sure. Big market, but you said Seahawks, not a huge market. They had hundreds of thousands of fans at the Super Bowl parade. They are diehards. It's not like just because you're not a big market doesn't mean there's not going to be insane viewership and there's insane fun. Remember the Browns fan who came on? Like, they're building this state-of-the-art new stadium that's emphasizing the dog pound. It's awesome what they're doing there. And it's like there's so many smaller market teams with just diehard followings. Even the Jazz, they'll pack those arenas with fans. So it's just like there's diehard fan bases around these smaller market teams. Bucks have a lot of diehard fans as well, all over.
You ever been to Salt Lake City?
I have been. It's yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, who cares? Who cares if the fan base
the only
is there
people who like the Jazz are the people in Salt Lake City, and that's a whole nother story. Because I look a little different. So when I was in Utah, my experience was a little bit different than the usual. But listen, this ain't that show. But I mean,
that's fair.
I love that. I'm telling you, Austin. I loved when they said that. I love that idea because
I can't get behind it. I cannot get behind it.
Baseball to me is a big bank take little bank. That's what it is now. Baseball is that, draft or not. Baseball is big bank take little bank, and the MLB is thriving. It's thriving. You cannot lie to it. It's thriving because people love it. We want to see the fucking LA Dodgers. We want to see the Yankees.
I do not want to see the Dodgers. I do not want to see the Yankees. I do not want to see the Red Sox. I could not care a little bit about any of those teams, to be totally honest. I mean, how about this one then? What are your thoughts on like letting guys like Giannis have ownership stake in Kalshi, which has become the biggest? Like, Kalshi's putting like FanDuel and DraftKings in the dust right now with these prediction markets taking over. And Adam Silver is out here allowing Giannis, and I love Giannis, but to allow a superstar or any player in your league to own any percentage of a prediction platform.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's crazy. 1%. Giannis's 1% of Kalshi is tens of millions of dollars. And just him doing it, existing, not saying anything, maybe saying the slightest thing, that changes that market. And those are real dollars on the line and changes these things. That's nuts. Adam Silver only cares about what's going on in the pockets of the betting apps and stuff like that pay him money that they want to have around their sport. He does not care about the fans. I don't know how much more we need to see.
I'm not sure, but my only thing, Austin, what do you say to Giannis? He is clearly one of the biggest superstar. What if you say, no, I'm not going to let you do that? He said, I'm not playing no more.
There should be a rule. Then who gives a shit? Why is Pete Rose not in the Hall of Fame?
But I'm telling you, Austin, what happens if Giannis say, oh, you won't let me do that? I'm injured. I'm not playing no more this year. Fans of Milwaukee is hurt. The team is hurt. The NBA, he's a guy that I watch. I love watching him play. I don't care what nobody say. But if you piss him off, what can you do?
How about this? It's the same thing. Should politicians be allowed to trade on public stocks when they have insider information?
They do.
They do. But should that be allowed? Absolutely not. Because they know things and because they can sway these things. It's the same exact thing. It is the same exact thing. And there's the smallest minority of people out there be cool with politicians being able to trade stock. This is the same exact thing.
Take little bank. They do it all the time, though, Austin. And us I'm a middle class person. We can't do shit about it. Whether we bitch, complain,
you're right.
Nothing. And guess what? I run my ass right down to the polls when it's time to vote again, knowing they're gonna fuck me again.
It don't matter who it is.
It just is what it is.
It's a different flavor.
I'd rather you give Giannis his way so I can see him play than say, no, Giannis, you can't do that. And Giannis say, all right, well, fuck y'all. I'm going. I could literally go make my money overseas, or I'd never have to play again. I'm gonna be pissed. Like, what the fuck? Kawhi done it before now. Listen, you're gonna run your superstars off. I just think they need to cut back on the money they pay them, get a little bit more power back, because they don't have the power. The players have the power now. And I think Adam Silver, he's in a lose-lose situation. And I don't think there's no winning. Because I mean, as you can see, it's on the college level now. A guy like Bill Self, who's won championships, numerous of fucking NCAA titles, can't get a control on his guy. He doesn't know when Peterson's playing. I'm hearing that he's hearing from a third party that this guy's telling him, I ain't playing tonight. I got the flu. What the fuck? Bills. So what do you think that young boy's gonna do in the NBA?
Yeah. I just basketball. I mean, it's trickled down to college basketball. We'll get into it. There was a fight, the Providence fight.
I love it.
It's all. I mean, hey, at least it's some juice. Like the
Yes,
KD
I
burner
love it.
stuff. At least it's some juice. I'm all for a good heel story, especially in a sport that the product is entirely broken. The commissioner's the worst commissioner this like in professional sports history. At least top 3 for
Oof.
guaranteed. Sure,
Oof.
you can't. Can you name me worse commissioners than Adam Silver? I don't. I've the amount of stuff on. I was all Adam Silver this week and all NBA this weekend. I have not seen a just rocks getting thrown at dude's house. Like that's the worst I've ever seen. Full on assault on his house and everything about Adam Silver. And the diehard NBA fans, the diehards, and I'm a casual, the diehards are outside of their skull about where the product and the game is at this point. And I got reading it as a casual.
The worst though. Yeah, I don't think he's the worst, Austin.
Yeah,
the NFL to me has been unethical for so many years, and like I said, this ain't a big that type of podcast, but most of the NFL commissioners are unethical people in the shit they allow in the NFL from the athletes. And I get it. You got to pay your bit. But no, I don't think he's the worst because I think he's a little bit more stern on like punishment when they do dumb shit. But the NFL, boy.
But where?
You can beat people.
Just don't smoke weed in the NFL. Just don't smoke weed in the NFL. You can do everything else and we'll find you a 6-game suspension. You smoke a little dope though, that's going to be a full season, Josh Gordon. See you later. Yeah. Crazy.
But I'm rambling. It's okay.
No, that's fair. We had to do some NBA because we won't get much NBA the rest of the show, but obviously it was a big weekend. So let's get into the top 10 and 10 like we always do on a Tuesday. Not to kick off the show today, funny enough, but just had to get our NBA rant in. But all right, top 10 and 10. Number 1, the Miami Dolphins seem to have triggered the full rebuild mode. They have cut Tyreek Hill. They have cut Bradley Chubb. They are currently $98 million into dead cap money for 2026, and they still got Tua on the roster. So a pre-June 1 trade adds another $45 in dead cap money to the Dolphins should they move on from Tua. And they pretty much are going to just have to pay someone to take his contract via throwing a nice draft pick for him. Like, hey, please take this off our hands. We'll give you a really, really shiny draft pick. But the Dolphins did save $22 million with the release of the soon-to-be 32-year-old wide receiver coming off major injuries. Mind you, during the season last year, they moved Jalen Phillips to the Eagles in a trade to kind of start the beginning of the end with this whole core that they assembled during the McDaniels era that won literally nothing in the playoffs that they built up. And Tyreek, everyone's going to be talking about all week. Where should Tyreek go? Where should Tyreek go? He wasted no time jumping on the Instagram, posting a picture of Patrick Mahomes on a big screen. So you know what he's thinking. Honestly, that move, it's going to always make sense. Or your Ravens who love past their prime wide receivers like OBJ, DeAndre Hopkins. Why not make it a Tyreek Hill in there? My favorite move would be if he lands in the Broncos personally, but and then you got Chubb. He's coming off 19.5 sacks over his last 3 seasons, but he had that ACL tear in 2024. He's going to be 30 before next season. And since his rookie year, honestly, kind of might be a little bit overrated. Since his rookie year only has 1 season with 10 or more sacks. So teams are going to be rightfully a bit cautious about giving him big money or a significant type of contract. I would expect like a 1 or 2 year deal for him. And remind you folks, I mean, the Dolphins gave up a first, they gave up a second, they gave up 2 fourths, and they gave up a 6th for Tyreek Hill, and they gave up a first for Bradley Chubb, and they mustered all of 0 playoff wins out of it. What's next?
All right, time for me to break out my 90s big basketball shorts. Michigan checks back in at number 1. All my Fab Five fans, which I'm not a Michigan fan, but during that era, I was a Fab Five fan. So we can break the big shorts out because Michigan is now number 1 in the NCAA for the first time since 2013, pushing past Arizona, who held the number 1 spot for 9 weeks. Michigan is 24-1 on the season, 2 games versus the top 10 opponents coming up. And listen, Michigan has now ranked number 1 in basketball, football, I don't know why that went. Football, hockey. What a freaking university got going on there. So listen, I'm a big Fab Five fan. Granted, number 1 doesn't mean anything because listen, March Madness is coming up, but it's good to see the big brands, Michigan, coming back. Hey, we'll see how it go. Michigan's number 1.
Hey, speaking of big brands, Michigan's a Jordan brand, I think, aren't they? I think they're a
Yes.
Jordan brand.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, speaking of Michael Jordan, he is back up. This time, Michael Jordan wins another championship. This time, it's as the Daytona 500. Funny enough, Michael Jordan's team, 23XI Racing. They won this week. Tyler Reddick, their driver, gave Michael. It was on Michael Jordan's birthday. Funny enough, Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500. He only led. It was super just crazy finish. Only led for the final lap. There's a tons of crashes that happened. And it was funny, not funny, but kind of a great story where Riddick has been winless all of 2025. He was dealing with some health issues with his family, which made this just an awesome kind of redemption story. You could see Michael Jordan at the end, like looking like he won his first championship all over again because it's been so long. Obviously, never worked out with him and Charlotte Hornets and anything going on there. So Michael Jordan back in the championship category, this time in the Daytona 500. What's up?
Hey, he had a little sus videos with him
I
celebrating.
saw that. I was gonna bring that up. I was like, I look like. So what comes out is yes, there's a sus video of Michael Jordan looking like he was potentially, had his hands where he shouldn't with a kid, but the kid had ice down his shirt, and I think Jordan was trying to help it loose. Had to do a lot of digging. Had to do a lot of digging on that one.
Yeah, he had a couple too many scotches, and it was
creepy.
It looked crazy and looked creepy, but I know Michael Jordan was fried, so I just I call it that. But anywho, number 4, Mr. Point Guard Chris Paul has officially retired after 21 seasons, maybe 3 or 4 seasons. Too much, but hey, we got to salute Chris Paul, one of the greatest point guards of all time. So sad that he's never won a championship. But still, Chris Paul retires as the number 2 all-time leader in assists and steals, a guy who played both sides of the court, super fire leader, little aggressive through his time. Top 3 facilitator of all time, not on my list, but a lot of people will put Chris Paul in the top 3. I don't have him there. A 12-time All-Star who never got the ring, and people forgot that he brought with the Thunder while he was there, but the young SGA clearly made more sense than him being in Oklahoma City than Chris Paul, which was still crazy how he got out of LA. But I just remember Chris Paul in Lob City. Like, I was around for that time with the Blake Griffin, and that was a good time. So I think Chris Paul is top 7, maybe 8 point guard of all time. I just can't give him top 3 on my list. So,
silky. And just, hey, shame on the Clippers for how that all ended. Shame on the Clippers. And I'm surprised the Raptors cut him too, like just waived him. Can't make Chris Paul work, something. All right, speaking of NBA, like I said earlier, the dunk contest died in front of our eyes, and hardly any fans even showed up to witness the death of a once great event. The 2026 field was filled with 4 guys who quite literally needed an introduction because nobody knows who the hell they are. Tell me if you've heard these names: Kashad Johnson, Carter Bryant, Jackson Hayes, Jace Richardson. So yeah, like you mentioned, hey, no need for 3-time winner Mac McClung to come in there because it's a bad look to have a G Leaguer roast all of your players, which would have happened because this contest itself was an absolute disaster. Jackson Hayes, Laker, his first dunk was quite literally a warm-up dunk. He kind of just ran up to the hoop and just dunked it. That was it. Nothing special. He would have got booed out of the arena if that was a breakaway in a game. It was such a casual dunk. Jace Richardson took a horrifying spill where he knocked his head, landed on his back. People legit was like concerned, is this dude going to get up? Like, is he badly concussed? So that was ugly. Carter Bryant is out there, somehow fumbled away a potential win by spending a whole day talking to Vince Carter instead of, actually dunking, doing something there. And then the victory was decided by the most casual windmill dunk you will ever see. So just a pathetic excuse of another all-star event going into shambles, hitting rock bottom. The fans footage, like I said, I saw a lot of fan footage from the arena. It was empty. And so here's a fun stat I dug up. From 2019 to 2023, there hasn't been a single all-star participant in the dunk contest. And the dunk contest has pretty much a severe identity problem at this point where one, identity in the problem in the sense that no one knows who these people are that are competing anymore. Mac McClung, people know now because of the contest, and he was actually great in it. And then two, it's like clearly none of these dudes know what qualifies as a great dunk anymore. I mean, we think back to if y'all saw the Vince Carter era, we used to have dudes jumping over cars. We used to have elbows sticking in rims. We used to have Superman, Dwight Howard jumping over people. We used to have cupcakes getting blown out on top of the rim with the dunk. We used to have it all in the dunk contest, folks. Actual free throw dunks, and now we got windmill dunks winning. It's just so sad. What's next?
What's next? Hey, I can't front. Outside of the dunk contest, I kind of enjoyed it. The new USA versus World NBA All-Star Game format actually was pretty good and pretty competitive. I just love Wemby because I think he sets the tone every time when he's in the game. But the rare success thing that Adam Silver touched, we got to applaud him for that. That was pretty good. The new USA versus World 3-team tournament format brought actual defense and competitive back to the All-Star weekend. 2 games were won off buzzer beaters. Anthony Edwards took the MVP honors as Team USA stars, dominated Team Stripes 115-95 in the championships. And like I said, I love seeing players actually play defense, actually go for rebounds. And Wemby, when he was down low, he was not giving anything down there. So I kind of like that format. I kind of wish it was a little longer because it was kind of like when the game started, it was kind of over fast. And then like the intermissions in between. But honestly, if you came to see competitive basketball, I got to give them a salute. I enjoyed it. USA versus World next year. Hopefully we can get Jokic and we can get Luka and we can get SGA in there. But before I go to Ja Morant and Zion Williamson, you wasn't all-stars this year. Can you get in the dunk contest? Please. That's all I ask. Zion and Ja. Please.
Well, yeah. Those are the guys you need in the dunk contest. Like, don't get your, I can't even keep digressing on this. Please. Next up, keeping with the All-Star theme, this is a little different, but Kevin Durant, known burner account god, was visibly shook after his one of his burner accounts got exposed. I won't say the name of them, but burner account got exposed right before the All-Star game, essentially, in the middle of All-Star weekend. You know, this is not the first time Kevin Durant's been kind of attached to a leaked burner. But these messages, man, were kind of unhinged. We're talking he's out here comparing teammates, current and previous teammates and coaches to dictators, like some crazy out-of-pocket stuff. He's admitted that he's run burners before. He's on podcasts saying, like, I love running these burner accounts. He's talked about it. And I'll be honest, some of the more normal things he said aren't totally out of pocket, are kind of a spot. Like, he's got some points, like, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, he's out there replying to fans and just his regular main account. But I'm telling you, this dude is psychologically incapable of not engaging with criticism anywhere from anyone. It's why he's a burner finesse. Like, he has to be finessing on a burner account. And like I said, some of the things he was saying was definitely better suited for a burner. I'm sure it was really awkward going back into the All-Star locker room with some of the guys he's tweeting about who are probably hearing this stuff. And if you saw Kevin Durant leading up to the game, man, if you've ever seen someone who's getting roasted online, they're just on their phone, like they're battling on their phone. Kevin Durant could not look away from his phone. He was on it constantly, like camera on him, walking through the tunnels. He's on his phone. Literally leading up to the game on the court, he is on his phone texting. It's a man who's been caught and busted if I've ever seen one. But like I said, I love a good heel story. Who doesn't? Especially when the NBA lacks any type of juice and quality storylines right now. I'm all for it with Kevin Durant, burner account, heel god. What's next?
Providence versus St. John's. Brawl put a new black eye in the world of college basketball, but who doesn't love physicality and fight? I don't care if you're from the hood, you know basketball makes fight. But Providence and St. John players went full MMA during the game. 7 players was ejected, and it started with a hard foul, which I don't care where you play in the country. If anybody foul you like that, any and everybody is going to start a fight. I'm telling you right now, when I seen it, I was like, oh, yeah, I would have been fighting too. Bench clearing scuffles that needed coaches, officials, and security to break it up. Duncan Powell for Providence got hit with a 3-game suspension from the Big East. And this also just comes with the NCAA dealing with ex-NBA players trying to return to college. Increasingly, social media harassment of players. 51% of D1 men players reported abuse, which is just insane. And y'all young kids got to get it together, but that's a whole nother story. And the sports betting with rigging games and just a whole bunch of BS. But I can't lie, I like it. St. John's is a gritty team. Rick Pitino is a gritty coach. Mm-hmm. So at some point, that's how they play. But I can honestly say that foul was just out of line. And granted, we don't want to see fighting in college, but that foul was out of line. And what I heard, they're actual ex-teammates. Like, how does that happen?
One of those.
Yes, like that's the ex-teammate. So something must have went wrong in translation where he owed him one. But yeah, not a good look for college basketball. But I love it.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, over to baseball because MLB baseball is back. Spring training kicks off, and there's a new twist this year with the Baseball World Classic. So we got pitchers and catchers reporting this week to start off and the gunshot on the season for baseball. There's going to be a new twist, like I said. So because of the World Baseball Classic starting March 5th, it's going to allow for stars in the league to actually be able to participate with their teams in mid-spring. So teams are also going to be playing exhibition games against World Baseball Classic squads, with Team USA facing someone like the Giants and the Rockies this season. And there's going to be a lot of top storylines that folks are going to be watching this spring training, particularly with like prospects like Cole Emerson. Will he be able to work his way onto a roster right away? Will Luis Robert Jr. going to bounce back with the Mets after, kind of some tumultuous recency? And then how will the Brewers youth movement really start to take shape? I mean, they are one of the most loaded farm systems. Will they show out? They're consistently being one of the youngest teams, cheapest teams, and they're trying their best to just win a World Series that way. So we'll get to see how that looks as well. What's next?
Last, Chelsea Gray. Salute to you winning the one-on-one tournament in the Unrivaled League, which I got to admit, I don't watch the Unrivaled games. I watch WNBA, women's college basketball, but anytime this 1-versus-1 tournament come on, I am locked in. I think the NBA should adopt this for All-Star. It is some of the most exciting basketball you'll see. Now, I think the NBA got to be a little bit more position-wise for one-on-one, but yeah, shout out to Chelsea Gray. She won 2 games out of 3. She won $200,000. She is the starting point guard for the 3-time winning Las Vegas Aces. And if you ever see her ball, she's like slow. She's not super athletic, but we talking about can shoot. She's a bully on the court. I'm telling you, Austin, if you have not seen it, next year you have to watch this one-on-one basketball. I'm telling you, it is the greatest thing to ever come to women's basketball. I love it. Like I said, I don't watch Unrivaled. I don't like the game, but the one-on-ones, I be locked in. So shout out to Chelsea Gray winning this year and at $200,000.
Woo! All right. So there's your top 10 and 10 for the weekend. I'm just trying to look up if there's anything big else going on quick. I've been seeing this, and I just got to put this out into the ether. Folks are talking about Josh Jacobs being a potential casualty cut for the Packers this offseason. And I'm thinking about that, man. I was like, the hell would you do that for? I know the Packers run game was not explosive last season, but to cut Josh Jacobs and roll out with what? Emmanuel Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd's coming back, but the dude has barely been able to practice for the 2 years he's been on the roster because he's always been hurt. I mean, even if the Packers could save $11 million and absorb just a $3 million dead cap hit, I just don't see how you move on from a guy who's got 2,800 total yards and 30 touchdowns. I know he's had some fumbles, only 4 yards a carry, but anytime Josh Jacobs has struggled in his career, Raiders or Packers, what's the overarching theme? The offensive line sucked. He was behind one of the worst run block. The Packers were not a good run blocking offensive line last year, and they had injuries. Rasheed Walker's not a good blocker. Aaron Banks was a total waste of money at left guard. They lost Elton Jenkins. They didn't know what was going on at right guard for the longest time. The only staple and constant was at right tackle was Zach Tom, and he even got hurt then. So the Packers line was just in chaos last season, where it's normally one of the most sound things ever. Might not be star-studded, but I'm like, to really just be like, oh, let's move on from Jacobs and pray to God this guy Marshawn Lloyd, who seems exciting, seems electric, but has never proven any type of health. And you want to talk about a guy who's got fumble issues. He's known to have fumble issues in college. And I like Emmanuel Wilson, but like, what the hell are we talking about? You can't get off Josh Jacobs. What are you gonna do? I just think it's a crazy discussion. I had to get out in front of it and just put my 2 cents on that one. I think it'd be a crazy thing.
It's the analytic guys, the dweebs, man. They sit in these rooms and think because his carry per yard was down, like, oh, he's lost it. No, he is a staple in the backfield. You cannot get rid of him. But I mean,
he's 28. I get it, but like, I just don't see the reason why. Have you not? What if Josh Jacobs has been an absolute bowling ball for the Packers? He's been awesome, and yes, I agree on the fumble piece of it, but you have nothing. You have literally nothing back there. And again, I like Emmanuel Wilson. Who knows if he'll even be around? And even so, I ain't bought in that he's some like, yeah, hey, Matt LaFleur wants to run the ball. He wants to run the ball a lot. So let's lean into Emmanuel Wilson. If you're going to be in a system that wants to run the ball a lot, you better have a bell cow beast back there, or you better have an electric dynamite 1-2 punch. And if you get rid of Josh Jacobs, you have neither. You're totally out, and you'd have to go spend assets to get a Breece Hall, or you'd have to spend your second round pick or third round pick to go get a guy that you're planning to start right away in your backfield. And the Packers have so many more things they have to address than running back. That should not be a worry. I get the sentiment. They're going to restructure. Shit, go cut Rashawn Gary. Gary's gone. Get rid of Elton Jenkins. Those are your cap casualties you should be moving off of, not Josh Jacobs. Kind of crazy. Don't understand the argument for it. I'm sorry. I just had to get out in front of that one because, it's my Packers. I had to do it.
Hey, got to do it.
I had to do it. And Packers might come up again because now, let's move into today's segment. One I got thinking about in the newsletter as well that I think would be a fun cover, and I'm curious to see what your take's going to be on this one. NFL teams with the most to gain and lose in 2026. And there's definitely a couple teams like the Packers or the Bills or the Ravens who you can make a good argument have the most to win and most to lose next season based off of, the last 5-6 years, where the team's at now, where the league's at now. So I know who I kind of got my idea. Why don't we start with the teams with the most to gain? Do you want to start this one off?
I'm going to just tell you off top, Austin, I'm not feeding into no Cowboy shit. We're not going to ever just listen. I'm being honest. We can't let them get us. Every year, people think that they're going to be, no, they're off the list for sure.
Of most to gain?
Anything. Nobody cares anymore. They're going to be average again. I'm telling you, they're going to be an average football team. No, it's not. I'm just being honest, Austin. I don't want to feed into that. But I think the most – what do we start with? Most to gain?
Yeah, which team has the most to gain?
I think the Ravens have the most to gain this year. I mean, after a bad season, I think the AFC is going to be writing them off. New coach, defensive coach. People think Lamar Jackson is pretty much done. There's a new sheriff in town in the AFC because you got to understand the Patriots are going to come back. Probably not the favorite, but people are going to think, all right, with the Denver Broncos, with a healthy Bo Nix and the Bills, if they get a receiver in the offseason. So the Ravens are going to kind of fly under the radar because people are not going to expect much from them. So I think they have the most of game to come back to the dominance they had a few years ago. And that's not even biased, me being a fan, but I just think they're going to slide under the radar so they can gain a lot by coming back saying, no, we still here. So
I like it. I mean, they do have a lot to gain. You still got an elite Lamar Jackson still in his prime that we've seen how much better he can be. Last season there was a slew of things going wrong. Lamar was hurt. He never seemed to be at his best besides a couple of games. And so there's still so much that it feels like we lost and have to tap back into there on the offensive side. And then we know what the defense can be. And you got Jesse Minter there now. There's massive room for growth on the defense, right? I mean, the Ravens tied for the third fewest sacks in the league last year. They were below, I think they had far below, I think they had 50 something in 2024. And then they dropped to like 30 or something like that last year. It was just a terrible drop off and it just keeps getting worse. So there's so much more to get out of that. And they got some good draft capital. They got the 14th overall pick. They're expected to receive 4 compensatory picks as well. So those are going to be huge. They should have over 10 draft picks this year. That's going to be pretty big. And you know what they're going to do? They should just do what McDonald did. Minter's boy, McDonald. Load up that defense for him, just like Jeff Hafley in Miami. Load up that defense. You have all these picks. And I just think there's going to be a natural regression to the mean with the Ravens. Last year just seemed like an anomaly. What could go wrong did go wrong. Exactly. So I like that one as a team to gain with the most to gain. It sounds like we're both sticking with our home team. This one to me was kind of like, I was like, Patriots seems like, will they go over the sophomore slump? We saw the Commanders with Jane Daniels. It all went backwards. So the Patriots have a lot to gain in the sense of like keeping this thing moving forward and not, regressing. The Bills, you can make a good argument. They have a lot to gain, but I'm going to stick with the Packers here because at what point do the Packers admit that they have a mediocrity problem? Will Matt LaFleur finally win when it matters? Will he become the most anomaly of coach in the NFL history, winning his first Super Bowl with a team in year 8, which I think has happened once in NFL history and why I'm very concerned about the outlook here. But they have so much to gain. It's going to be like the Bills. Like, you've been on the precipice for 15 years now, and things are sliding backwards while Jordan Love's numbers are skyrocketing forward. He's going to start next year. He's an analytical darling. The tape backs it up. He's going to start next year, widely considered a top 5-6 quarterback in the NFL because there's next to nothing you can argue against him being in the top 6, I would say. You'd be hard pressed. It'd just be a total bias that's backed in very little data or just because you just don't like the guy. But he's out here last season, Jordan Love posting career best in completion percentage and his QBR, had the best touchdown to interception ratio. So this offense can do so much more, and it just fell apart in second halves because of the play calling and the cowarding down to the worst teams and just seemingly wanting games to be as close as possible rather than going for the jugular. So there's so much more this offense can do. You're getting Tucker Kraft back. Matthew Golden's a dog. Christian, this offense never had a single game last year with, I believe it was Kraft, Jacobs, Christian Watson, Reed, never played a game together last year. So you have all of this to look forward to next season. That can really be the reason why this team is finally seems to get over that hump. If you can just keep that core on the field together, finally, because we didn't get that in 2025. And they just need to just ditch these predictable early first down runs. It was such a hindering to the offense. If Matt LaFleur can just get away from that, it seems like the offense can get so much better because until the Packers can get back to running the ball how they want to, that offense needs to just run through Jordan Love. And even if they do reestablish the run that Matt LaFleur wants to do, still run that offense through Jordan Love for once, man. Like, lean into your quarterback whose numbers are going this way up as your team's success is going down. And you keep trying to lean into the run. Meanwhile, you got this quarterback putting up great numbers. You just don't want to lean all the way into him. So I say just let you have Jordan Love on an MVP trajectory right now. Lean into it. It's like the Packers are dangling their feet on the brighter side of the fence right now, and they could just unhook some of the problems that have been problems for 7 straight years with LaFleur. They have so much that they can go. You're getting Micah Parsons back. I like the Jonathan Gannon addition. I think it's going to help elevate the defense, honestly. So I think they have a ton to gain here, man. I'm very excited about the Packers. Do you have any thoughts on the Packers on this one?
I'm gonna keep my thing. I think y'all gonna regress next year. Bad.
Again? You think we're going worse than 9-7-1?
Y'all lost a lot of your staff, whether you believe it or not.
Shitty staff, though. Staff that needed to go. Besides Mannion. I liked Mannion. I didn't want to lose Mannion.
I mean, you think Jeff Hafley was not good?
I liked Hafley. I don't see between Hafley and Gannon. It almost feels like a wash, to be totally honest.
Name me one of these successful organizations who loses that many staff members and come back the next year and they're still relevant. I'm telling you now. I think y'all gonna have a pretty. I don't want to put the jinx on you, but I just think when you lose a lot of staff like that, when you have young quarterbacks and young teams where you want to kind of build some consistency, I don't think. I mean, you losing the DC, losing a quarterback coach.
I mean, here's the thing. So but they brought back Alex Van Pelt, who was there for Rodgers MVP years. Alex Van Pelt's a Packer guy. I know he left for some other teams, but He was there when Rodgers was MVP. He was there with Jordan Love already. This is a lot of familiarity and success with him in the Green Bay Packers quarterback room. And on the defensive side of the ball, that staff was not good. The guy that was really good that they're very lucky to have kept around is DeMarcus Covington, the D-line coach, who very well could have got a DC job. We stole him from the Patriots. He could have been poached this year, and it was close, but they're actually going to be able to retain him. Otherwise, I think they made some really solid additions, and they got rid of some guys that people didn't want around necessarily. If you look at Packers fan base, I mean, they're kind of happy with how that shook out for the most part.
But I don't get that. Y'all had a successful year and people still be okay, I get it. Okay. I get it. We'll see. I just think y'all will be one of the teams who made the playoff this year won't make it next year. But that's
really
we gotta have one of those.
Because You're ruining my night.
That's what I'm saying. Because every year you can go back like 5 or 6 years. Every year it's a team that don't make the playoff, and the team that didn't make the playoff makes the playoff the next year. And I promise you, I'm somewhere online on somebody's show. I predicted the Patriots before the season started. But I'm saying it now. I don't think the Packers will make the playoff next year. But that's a whole nother story.
I mean, here's the thing, man. They're going to get Parsons back. They were a top unit with Parsons. And if just any slight investment in the defense, which I think we've hit the point of they have to do and they know they have to do, is going to be huge for this team. They know the cornerback room now is in shambles and they made a mistake to not address it properly. They know the defensive line room is not in a good spot and they failed to address it properly. And now you don't have a first-round pick because you brought in Parsons. Your offense is set at pass catcher. You have the tight end. You have enough weapons at pass catcher. You got the quarterback. You're going to obviously draft a lineman or two. But otherwise, the Packers are just going to load up on defense in this draft, man. There's nowhere. It's not going to be receiver. It's not going to be tight end. It's not going to be running back. There's going to be an O-lineman or two. But otherwise, those picks are all defense. It's going to be D-line. It's going to be cornerback. It's going to be linebacker because I don't think they bring back Quay. If they do, it'll be on a cheap deal. I think Rashawn Gary is out the door some way, somehow. Please, Lord, make it happen. So you need another edge rusher. You need like 4 freaking D tackles on this team. Like everyone's in the point of drafting, mock drafting D tackle to the Packers right now. So I think there's going to be enough investments on defense to where, look, this team sucked on defense without Parsons, but they were great with Parsons. And now you're going to invest more in the defense with Parsons back. I think it's just going to, I think there's potential.
I like how you gaining more and more. Listen, I love how you talking yourself into it. Just remember, I told you so.
I feel that. No, but this is the reason why I think they have so much to gain because of just where things are.
Chicago's going to be better next year. Detroit's going to be better next year.
Maybe.
If the Vikings can just...
No, they're done. They're dead right now.
If
you have more faith in the Vikings and the Packers right now, we're going to have a long conversation.
I don't. But I've seen some funkier things with just if you can get a quarterback in, that team's going to be better. But listen, we can move on to more teams to lose, but I'm just being honest. But a team that I think have a lot to lose, the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen window is starting to creep a little smaller, and I think staying in house was a big mistake. And if it does not work, people are going to look like, well, you had a chance to go get somebody outside. And I get it. Joe Brady is probably Josh Allen's guy. He's probably like, look, I can win with this guy. But they have so much to lose because if it does not work next year, you're going to be looking around like, wow, the fuck did we stay in-house with Joe Brady instead of going out getting these good young coaches out here? Some guys out here that wasn't in-house. So I think the Bills have the most to lose because, I mean, that window's starting to close in on Josh Allen. And like I said, you got one more year before Mr. Patty's back. Pat's not going to be back next year. We don't know if Lamar's going to be healthy next year. We don't know what the Denver Broncos will look like because, when you break an ankle, it's hard to come back. Will the Patriots fall down? Next year, if the Buffalo Bills don't get it done, they have all their chips on the table now. I'm just being honest. So I think they have the most to lose to me because you got to get it done soon.
Yeah, I think this is going to be Josh Allen's age 30 season. And like you said, they're banking on that familiarity is going to actually help them rather than bringing in a new system, a new coach with Josh Allen at 30. And the wide receiver room lacks any type of juice, man. when you got Josh Allen throwing to Brandon Cooks and Khalil Shakir in the playoffs, you got a big time problem. It's old Brandon Cooks, mind you. So, and I think they're projected just under 10 million in cap space right now. That's a big no, ugly spot to be. So they better hope that Brandon Bean fella who sucks at drafting gets his stuff together, because that team needs a lot to get fixed. I know their defense got better to end the season, but they got a terrible run defense. They got bad linebackers. Now they got a new system coming in, so they're going to have to rebuild the talent on the defense. Just a lot of things that have to go right for them, and they just lost the division to the Patriots with year 2 Drake May in the Super Bowl already. So they're like I said, if they do finally get to the Super Bowl this year, hopefully they win it if they do, unless it's against the Packers, but there will be like a collective sigh coming out of Buffalo that's going to alter the wind patterns throughout the country. It's going to be, oh, thank God, finally, God. Yeah. But like you said, man, if they don't get it again this year, I'm nervous what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of really ugly conversation that Bills fans are not going to want to endure if it doesn't get through it this year. But for me, I know you don't want to talk Cowboys. I was kind of teeter most to lose Cowboys or Eagles, right? I mean, Cowboys they're at the end of the Dak thing right now. They're closing in. Jerry's got to step aside. We need his ego out of the building so we can blow this thing up. But I'm choosing the Eagles.
Thank you.
My backup Eagles have the most to lose, because again, there's a very, very real chance that we're ending the 2026 season with an answer that for sure, like, is Jalen Hurts the guy? Can Nick Sirianni survive another season of disappointment? Both took a step back last year. I mean, just even 1 year removed from the Super Bowl, they went 10-7. They got bounced in the wild card by the 49ers. It was a lot of regression. The offensive pass game was just miserable for at least one half of every single game. Saquon Barkley takes a step back because of the scheme. A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. You have all this talent, but none of it was working in cohesion together. So obviously they fire their offensive coordinator. And obviously A.J. Brown's toxic presence did not help navigate this pass offense that was just in shambles, disappearing act for most of the season. And again, as the offensive line kind of broke down, so did Jalen Hurts' ability to get even easy throws. Even the 5-yard outs that they lived and died by became difficult for Jalen Hurts, and he was only really good when the offensive line was good. So he's kind of proved what we've all been saying. The Eagles can win a lot of games with Jalen Hurts, but they're not winning a lot of games because of Jalen Hurts. And I think if this thing goes bad this year, and they're not like if it's more of last year mixed in with this year, we're hitting the rebuild, retool thing where we might be talking. I mean, Dallas Goedert's already a free agent. A.J. Brown might not be back. And if this thing goes south, you can expect there's going to be a real Saquon Barkley conversation if he's going to be back around. You already know Lane Johnson's pretty much at the end. The offensive line struggled dearly. The defense has some good pieces around it. You just lost the best offensive line coach in the NFL with Jeff Stoutland. I forget his name now, which that could also prove catastrophic. You just lost your star defensive guy, Christian Parker, to go be the DC over in Dallas now. And I know that Sirianni got the contract extension, man, but expectations are high and seats are already hot as is. Hurts is under heavy amounts of scrutiny already. I mean, the guy had like 25 touchdowns or something like that, and that's a career best. Like, I just don't know. I think if this season goes bad, man, they're going to be looking for a new head coach in 2027. They're going to be looking for a new quarterback in 2027, and they're probably going to be rebuilding or retooling type of thing across a majority of that roster. So I think it's kind of it's going to be a really, and it's crazy to say because the Eagles are so recently removed from a Super Bowl, but I mean, it's just year after year with Sirianni. There's no defending that this is always a toxic team to be around. I mean, when you got the blow up bunny in the locker room to bring teammates together, I mean, just pathetic, man. And it just seems like this thing's going in the wrong direction. Your quarterback year after years, I mean, I know he's had some really big games, but like, let's be honest, man. You can win a lot of games with other guys than Jalen Hurts and win because of your other guys that's not Jalen Hurts.
And I do agree with you. They have a lot to lose, but the one thing that I do know about Philly, listen, if y'all don't get it done, how are we gonna get you up out of there? The owner, they got rid of Doug Peterson after a fucking Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They got Nick Foles out of there after a contract. One thing about Philly, they not gonna stay down too long. And if they want to be successful, they got to get rid of A.J. Brown. They cannot bring that back, which might fail well for like the Patriots or maybe
Mm-hmm.
like the Bills, because he is a talent, and he doesn't like Jalen Hurts because he knows what we know. He's not that good, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure he would love Josh Allen to throw him the football because. And I love Jalen Hurts. I really hate to talk bad about Jalen Hurts because he's a good dude. Like he
We're
does.
talking on field, yeah.
Yeah. I like his, but he's just not a good quarterback, man. But and
Mm-hmm.
Austin, I want to say next year, unless the Cowboys make the NFC Championship game, I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm being honest. I'm not going to let them just pull me in with the fluff, man. I cannot let the Cowboys be relevant in my brain anymore.
I love that for you.
I can't. It is hard for me to break it, but I'm going to start today.
We're only a couple weeks removed from you putting that Cowboys hat on stream.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But you see, it was another fan who just reminded me, he was bringing up memories and shit. So it kind of pulled me in. I'm not going to let it pull me in anymore. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to gain or lose anything.
Resist. Yes, absolutely. I mean, but like I said, nothing's going to change there until Jerry's out of the building. The Jones family needs to be out of the organization. I don't think it'll ever happen, but like those egos are too big. Someone's got to check the team. If they don't get it done with Dak, like this year, I don't know what you do, man. You're at the end of it with Dak, man. You're at the end of it. And then it's like, what? Now what? Now you're searching for a new quarterback.
Waiting for Archie, though. I can tell you that right now.
Oh,
Archie
you know it too.
Jerry Jones guy. I'm going to tell you that right. He's a Troy Aikman, nice looking. Young, I'm telling you. Jerry will sell his soul to get Archie Manning. That's why I think they're not even going to have a good season, because I really think they want that Archie Manning.
Ooh, I could see it too. Jerry's final act, Archie Manning to be the guy that gets him back. I could definitely. He's already down there in Texas and Tejas too.
I will buy that jersey though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna.
Oh no!
I like Archie Manning.
You're gonna get roped back in.
No. I will buy his, because I'm a fan of, like, I got so many players' jerseys. It's not even funny. I will buy an Archie Manning jersey because I will buy that jersey.
Could be kind of clean. Could be clean.
Super clean. I'm trying to tell you. So.
All right, that's good stuff, man. I still can't believe you did my Packers dirty like that. That one hurts my soul.
Listen, Austin, I hated it had to be you, man. But I'm just telling you, it came to me, so I gotta let it out.
Yeah, I mean, they do really have so much to gain this season. They've been stuck as the 7th seed in the playoffs the last 3 times. They're still a young team. They made one of the most aggressive moves they've made in, since Reggie White or Chuck Woodson, to go get a Micah Parsons, which is kind of an all-in type of move if you think about it. I mean, it is for everyone considering what they gave up and the caliber of player he is. It's one of those all-in moves that just didn't pay off because he got the ACL injury, and that spiraled the whole defense.
It wasn't going to pay off, Austin. Trust me. And you say it out loud, but I really think deep down inside you do not trust Matt LaFleur. I'm telling you,
I don't right now.
So there's no way that you think y'all are gonna. You don't trust that guy, and I think you give him his props when he deserves his props, but you on his head when he do dumb shit. So I think you don't think Matt LaFleur is the guy to take you where you need to be. I just really feel that in my stomach, so I want to give you this push.
You're right. No, you're right. And I know there's going to be a Packer fans listening to this who, I mean, there's a few Packer. There's not many. I'll put it this way. Packer fans at this point have to be sold back into the Matt LaFleur experience because we know all the good that comes with it, but all the bad comes with it is the same bad every single year for 7 straight years. Nothing changes. It's mediocrity. It's complacency. It's good enough. The other thing now is like Adam Stenovich, their offensive coordinator. He doesn't call plays. He goes out and he's interviewing these last 2 cycles, and shocker, nobody wants him. But Matt LaFleur keeps coming in back to him and be like, yeah, you be my OC, though. We don't know the extent of, Stanovich's contributions and what to credit him for, what to blame him for, obviously because of all that Matt LaFleur does. But the point I called out is clearly whatever he does do and can take credit for is not impressive to other teams around the league. It's only impressive to Matt LaFleur. And Matt LaFleur is notorious for not being really good with his coaching hires and being very complacent with letting these bad tenures drag on. Like Joe Barry just dragged on, and Matt kept him around for no freaking reason besides that the guy was his friend. He's got this problem with loyalty for people he shouldn't be loyal to, and it cost the Packers dearly in terms of like making the right moves to get out of complacency and mediocrity. They're stuck in good, never great.
See, you just I'm
convinced
you. You listen,
I would have been
y'all gonna be average next year. You just
I don't think
said it.
I think the season we're not even having this conversation. If Tucker Kraft doesn't tear his ACL, if Micah Parsons doesn't tear his ACL, if your all-pro right tackle Zach Tom is not hurt throughout the whole back half of the season, if you don't lose Elton Jenkins for the entire season, if you don't lose they had, I think it was the second most amount of money on the IR throughout the season and the end of the season. It's brutal.
If my mama had a stick, she'd be my daddy. She'd be my daddy.
I used that one. I actually used that one the other day. I like that one.
I'm being honest. So I'm telling you, I'm convincing you. And next year, I can't wait for this to just explode. I'm telling you, I'm trying, and I don't want you to change teams. I just want
I just can't
realize that it's a head coach problem. And until you get a guy in there who can cultivate what y'all got, you convinced me. I was a big Matt LaFleur fan. And this whole season, you kind of brought up evidence after evidence after evidence after evidence. So I'm like, shit, Matt LaFleur's. I'm telling you, I was a big Matt LaFleur fan. I'm telling you, on my last year, I used to do a show. I love Matt LaFleur offense, but you convinced me, and every week you would give me shit, and I'm like, yeah, he might be right. This dude is fucking trash, but hey, we'll see.
He has a majority of the fan base to win back over, and even all the Packers media. I know we're kind of back to the point of just accepting reality for what it is, but with a majority of the fan base and the media and the reporters, everyone, he's got a tall hill to climb to win back this fan base. And I know that him and Gutekunst were just extended and they're going to be kept around, but that doesn't mean they won't get axed after next season. If if this season ends the same way with the same one and done in the playoffs, or if they don't make an NFC championship game, there better be damn heads on the block. There should have been more heads on the block this offseason. If they don't even make the NFC championship game next season, they run back the same fucking regime for year 9. Oh, I'm going to lose it. I might have no choice but to switch teams. I might go root for Chicago just out of spite. No, I won't. I could never do that. That was stupid. I take that back.
That's like me going to the Redskins. I'm going to be honest.
They need to bring back the arrow logo for them, though. They really do need to bring the arrow. Just get rid of that shitty W.
The Redskins.
Who cares? They need to go back to that anyways. But they need to be the arrow. The arrow, they can do some cool things with that. This W thing's ridiculous. All right, we've wasted enough time talking about the Packers. I'm sorry. No, Joey, I will not come on board with Caleb Williams and the Bears. My soul would rather die. And I'd rather watch the Packers win no games for 20 years than be a Bears fan. That sounds aggressive. I just can't do it. You know the rival you would never do it. You would cut.
They had some exciting games. I know, but they had some exciting games, Austin. So I don't know.
I'm excited for the rivalry to be back.
And to be fair, I'm in the same boat. The high school next to my house is green and gold colors. I go, if and when we have kids, we got to move because they can't be in green and gold. It's illegal in my house. So I get it. I can't be anything Green Bay.
Did you have a take on a team with the most to gain or most to lose this season coming up? I know I'm kind of throwing you on the spot here, but anyone in particular come to mind for you?
I mean, to lose, I agree. It's got to be the Bills because they missed their prime shot this year with no Lamar, no Burrow, no Mahomes. Like, that was it. This was the easiest path to the Super Bowl that they had. And especially now when you look at it, I know Bo Nix got hurt, but the way Drake May played, I'm like, boy, they could have
ran that.
Been there easy. And biggest to gain, I got to go with my Bears. I can't not. I'm not doing that just because I'm a homer.
We all went with the homer take for most to gain, though, so it checks out. It's just checking out.
But but normally that's me being a blind idiot because they're terrible. They got some momentum here that is unbelievably exciting, and they're set if this works for 10 years. That's the most intriguing part that I've never been able to say as a fan. But you have an offense here that did some miraculous things that if they can keep building around it, they're taking a step up. And it's not just, they were, 8-9, had 9 wins, 10 wins, what have you. Like, they won the division. So the goal is to go up. I mean, they haven't won a division in 15 plus years. So
yeah,
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because I live here, but also because they were the darlings of the season this year. And, more and more reports you see, of NFL executives or reporters at the Super Bowl going, boy, we just wish the Bears were here. Like, they were so much fun that they're going to ride this thing high until they move to Gary, Indiana. But until then, they'll be good.
I was going to say for the Bears, like, what they have to gain this season is like reestablishing themselves as back. Like, we're back. For the Packers, what they have to gain this season is we finally got over the mediocrity hump. And, okay, we committed, we stood firm, we were very patient, we finally got over it. That's what they stand the game because the time is running out there. And then, of course, with the Ravens, it's kind of the same thing is getting Lamar. They have getting Lamar back to the Super Bowl, maximizing his talent and what they got there before it, inevitably like the Packers. We're running out of time here on this thing as much as we got. Like there's so much to gain and get back on track here. But yeah, another team, sleeper, Giants. I like the Giants as a team with a lot to gain. You get Harbaugh coming in. I know, Iman, you don't want to think about it. You got Malik Neighbors coming back. You got Jackson Dart. You got Cam Scatterbo. You got Harbaugh in the building. You got who did they bring in as their OC now? I'm totally blanking, but I know it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, they have a lot to gain with like their stars finally. Like they're going to get Scatterbo, Neighbors, and Jackson Dart all together, which they didn't get last season. Nagy. Oh, wait. Oh, gross. Run. That sucks. That ruins it all.
I told you.
Talent-wise, though, I think there's so much potential in that offense and what they could ascend to with the full healthy cast. They got their bookend left tackle, but if they lose Wan'Dale Robinson, man, I would lock him up. He is a nice piece. I would not let Wan'Dale Robinson out of the building. But all right.
See, I think with Harbaugh, really quick, I think with Harbaugh there, they have the most to lose because that's a lot of pressure on a big-time coach. It kind of flips it for him. Like, they got a lot of growth, but, man, if this thing fails, they are toast. And they've already been toast for the last, let's say, 5-6 years. That's another fight. You're going on a decade worth of downfall. That's a problem.
Yeah, the Nagy hire. I'm not fond of that one. Nagy, we all know.
Loser. Bum.
There's only one place Matt Nagy has ever had success, and it's where Andy Reid is doing the heavy lifting, and Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback.
Hold my clipboard.
Yeah, I don't even. What do you even do here? What do you do for us? All right. I think this might be one of our last divisions to get through right now for biggest team needs. I think it's our last division. Honestly, we've been cooking through these. So this week it's the AFC East biggest team needs, and why don't we just start out with the Buffalo Bills? Some common theme seen online from fans is need a wide receiver one. You got a whole new defensive coordinator and defensive scheme rolling in, so you need new edge, you need new linebackers, you can afford another safety. Iman, is there anywhere particular you're going for the Bills?
I'm going straight receivers. I mean, I'm just thinking Joe Brady has to get somebody for Josh Allen. And now is the opportune time. No, I don't like the small receivers, but Tyreek is out there. You're not going to have to pay him 30. Not going to have to pay him 30. A.J. Brown. Also, I think this NCAA, which I think the past few years have been having good receiver classes, but there's an awesome receiver class this year coming out. You got to get Josh Allen some help. And then you have to address pass rush. I mean, just like I said, I thought the defense played better towards the end of the year, but you got to need somebody. You need somebody to help the defense play better. But man, don't have my man Josh throwing to me and you again here. It's not gonna work. It's not fair. It's not fair to him.
Yeah, it's completely unreasonable to have Josh Allen throwing to old Brandon Cooks and Khalil Shakir in a playoff game. That is, and Keon Coleman was a total flop. That was just poor scouting. He's not working. It was just not a good draft pick, and they were locked in on him. And again, I liked watching him at Florida State, but clearly, what do I know? So I agree. They need to go get something. You can't have Curtis Samuel banking on him or any type of capacity. Go get. They have to make a splash. You know this is. You're at the end of the train tracks coming up with Josh Allen and this whole regime right now. And it's going to be really ugly offseason if this thing doesn't get where it needs to go and hasn't gone. Josh Allen's been in the playoffs 7 times, has not seen the Super Bowl once. And Khalil Shakir, as nice as he is a short area guy. He is a catch and run type of guy. Shoot, he's their number one, and he had numerous games where he would disappear. Wasn't even a part of the game plan. Or if he was, they just couldn't get him the ball. So you need the guy, and I like the idea, maybe Rashid Shaheed, someone who is a certified field stretcher. Maybe it is a Tyreek Hill on a cheap deal. But also, yeah, you need a big wide receiver. And Keon Coleman, who knows? I mean, the guy still has a long way to go, it seems like. Invest in a big wide receiver, someone who's got the true wide receiver one skill set. So I like that one. I'm personally going to stick defense. I'm going to say linebacker. You bring Jim Leonard in, you move to a 3-4 system. Right now, your defense is built for a 4-3 system with Gregory Rousseau, Gregory Rousseau, or whatever his name is. Am I saying that right? Rousseau? Gregory Rousseau? Whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Not one of these fans will remind you.
Yeah. One of these fans will call me out for getting that one wrong. And then Bosa, obviously that is what it is. Ed Oliver's a nice piece in the middle. But look, Jim Leonard, he loves being aggressive, but he's also very situationally intelligent. And they should just be extremely aggressive rebuilding their linebacker room. They were 26th in sacks per game last season with 1.9 sacks per game. And they were 28th in rush yards allowed per game and 30th in touchdowns allowed per game. Terrell Bernard did not play at a starter level and is struggling to stay on the field. One of the lowest graded players actually on their defense last season. Matt Milano, love him. Freaking stud when he is healthy. He's now a free agent, and either way, his elite days are gone. Another dude just could not stay on the field. He's only played 16 games twice in his career. It's just such a shame because he is such a great talent. Shaq Thompson's going to be 32 next season, just average in his own regard at this point. And Dorian Williams, another linebacker, younger guy, one of the few younger guys that they got out there, is super fast. He plays very fast, but he also makes a lot of mistakes at full speed too. I actually think he's probably the biggest candidate for an improvement with Jim Leonard coming in his system, but he's far from being a premier type of player on defense. So you switch to that system, give Jim Leonard all the pieces. When you're switching up the scheme, and I know it's not just going to be all 3-4, but you need to go build. You don't got the talent for a 3-down lineman set right now, and you definitely don't have the linebackers for 4 of those dogs out there. And there's guys out there like Leo Chanel or Kyle Lewis in the draft, like a bunch of guys you can go get to really build out that linebacking core and kind of reset there and then get your defense right. You got to be a better run defense next year. And it starts up at that front 7. And right now their linebacking core is just not cutting it, especially with Milano done and all the injuries to the starters that they do have. Like, you got to invest a lot into that linebacker room for me if I'm the Bills this offseason. Jets. Feels like a million ways we can go with where the Jets. And I don't remember what our Jets fans said last week. I mean, obviously quarterback's a big one. I think he said you go get a new wide receiver. So lots of fans are talking about, and I'll get a wide receiver too next to Garrett Wilson. Get a D tackle, linebacker, cornerback, safety. Shall I go on? Iman, who do you got for them?
They better address that quarterback position. I'm telling you right now, Justin Field has enough tape on him to realize he's not getting better. I'm just being honest. He's not getting better. And I think he could be like what's the guy in New Orleans?
Chubb?
No. The guy that played like tight end and
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, yeah. He could be a Taysom Hill guy because yes, he is dangerous when he's running. He's faster than he looks. He's a big guy. But he's not going to be your guy that's going to save your job, Aaron Glenn. So I say go address quarterback. Maybe not replace him, but get somebody where when shit start looking crazy, all right, let's go with the rookie so you can show the organization, hey, we got somebody who just need another year, to develop. But, yeah, I'm replacing him. And whether they want to believe it or not, you got to replace Sauce Gardner. I mean, he was an all-pro corner. You can't just let an all-pro guy out the room and not replace him, especially when Aaron Glenn is a defensive guy. He was an ex-DB in the league. So he's going to have to get that room together because that should be something that he's known for. So I will go get me a big-time cornerback. But, yeah, Justin Field, he's going to get you fired. Yeah, he's going to get you fired, Aaron Glenn, if you go with him. I'm telling you.
When we were talking to the Jets fan, I was kind of – I feel like I was getting talked in. I was, like, buying into them going to get Kyle Murray and like, the 2-year deal. I mean, I was kind of buying into that as we were kind of talking through it. So I could definitely see that. But I'm agree with what you just said about the Sauce Gardner situation. And I know they have to fix that defensive line because they also got rid of all-pro Quinnen Williams. And then sure as hell, they finished with the second fewest sacks per game last season with no Quinnen Williams. Like Will McDonald's a really nice piece on the edge. Jermaine Johnson has essentially just been a flop for a first-round pick at this point. He's got 13 sacks in 4 years. I know he's been hurt on top of it. But look, folks, when you're coming off a season with not a single interception and then you go and trade Sauce Gardner mid-season, it's impossible to avoid upgrading cornerback in a big way. And Azariah Thomas, I really like him. I think he has awesome potential to be a very good cornerback in the NFL, so I like him as a good starting piece. But then on the other side of him, you got Brandon Stevens. He ain't it. He only has 1 year and 5 seasons in the league with an interception at all, so he's not helping your problem right now. And if you're like settling for Brandon Stevens, like I'm sorry for you. And then behind those two, cornerback just gets really ugly on that depth chart. So I'm going to invest something. I saw some funny mock drafts from Jets fans, which is like 10 picks, all cornerbacks, just cornerback. I would literally do it. This is a great year to need a cornerback in the draft. And the Jets, I'm using one of those first picks on a cornerback. And I know they're going to be really tempted to take Ty Simpson at like pick 16. And technically speaking, a quarterback at 16 is better value than just about anything else you could take there. So I understand if they do. But,
he'll be there in the second round.
Maybe, potentially. But I know, so I would understand if they do, but I would use that first pick on a cornerback, DeLore out of LSU or just get the guy you think is the number one cornerback in this draft with your first pick. You have to do it. Replace Sauce. Get some damn interceptions on the board and help Aaron Glenn keep his job if that's what you want. All right. Patriots. Patriots were just in the Super Bowl, but Lord knows that offensive line was buns down the stretch in the playoffs. They need a new pass rusher. They could use a new explosive tight end, a future wide receiver one. Where are you kind of going with the Patriots?
The one thing I hate with trying to replace a line when you have like a far down pick, it's like, if I'm not picking a lineman, to me, this is just to me, in the top 10, I want to try to go get a free agent. So if I had to address some things, you got to get a lineman. Yeah, you cannot. Okay. But I'm only assuming that 2 rookies will develop. So let's assume that Will Campbell and the guard, both of those guys was rookie. Let's assume those guys will develop. Let's say they will develop. I'm going to go get another pass catcher or maybe a safety because I like Gonzalez, but he needed a little help in the Super Bowl too with some safeties probably who can get in the box and help with a Kenneth Walker. Like I said, I keep telling everybody, Caleb Downs is like one of the best players that's coming out of college. So
his draft stock is rising quick.
Yeah, you need a safety who can come down in the box, make some tackles, also can cover on the back end. And that's just me assuming you got a good line coach that's going to develop those guys. Maybe move Will Campbell in at guard and maybe try to find a tackle in the offseason. Because like I said, I don't like drafting linemen at 30. So
interesting. Okay,
you're not good. I don't want to. I need to put on the line at 30.
They drafted Will Campbell in the top 10, and look at how that one played out for him. It's like any position; nothing's guaranteed. Or you get a Hall of Famer in round 7 somehow, type of thing. Who knows?
He wasn't bad all year though. Let's give him a little credit.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. I think he got hurt, and then it just went.
He wasn't bad downhill all year. Yeah.
But how can you not say offensive lineman here? It's really hard when you I think the O-line was charged with 25 pressures and 20 hurries in the Super Bowl. One game, 25 pressures, 20 hurries. is absolutely crazy. And Drake May was sacked at least 5 times every game in the playoffs. That's as unacceptable as it gets out of an offensive line. I was kind of surprised that, he ran the ball a lot, but there was not a lot of play calling from McDaniels to get him rolling out and throwing outside of the pocket, which was kind of strange. But speaking of throwing outside of the pocket, where I'm going to go here is wide receiver. Get them a future wide receiver one. Get Drake May's, future guy to throw to forever, right? I like Stephon Diggs there. He's going to be 32 years old, though. And, the Patriots offense really hit stride when you moved him into the slot. So that still leaves them needing their tried and true long-term outside weapon for May. And, despite all the off-field stuff, which is always crazy with Stephon Diggs, him broken up with Cardi B in the middle of the Super Bowl type of thing, or whatever that was. He was a great culture carrier for the locker room and a great mentor for those guys. He ain't going to be around much longer. Kayshon Boutte, I really think he's a great asset weapon long-term for this team. He proved to be one of the most effective downfield pass catchers in the NFL all season, but he doesn't really do much for you in the short game. He lacks kind of the all-around skill set and route package of a tried and true wide receiver one. Feels like he is developing into an awesome wide receiver two after some early struggles with drops. I do still like Kyle Williams. My flag is still planted on the Kyle Williams hill as an awesome deep threat weapon as well, someone who can really take the top off as soon as you catch the defense sleeping. So I'd love to see them get him more involved in more ways. But Matt Collins, let's be honest, we know what that is. That's not a long-term thing. Matt Collins should not be a relied upon weapon and featured in your offense. You can do so much better, as nice as he was for them. But also you could say, go get Njoku at tight end, go get Kyle Pitts, add an explosive tight end to this offense could be fun. But more importantly, I think go invest. A lot of fans are saying, when they took Will Campbell, they should have taken a wide receiver instead. And now they're just pissed that they didn't do that. So make that happen this year. Go get, and again, maybe it is an A.J. Brown. Maybe you do add a Tyreek Hill for one season. I don't know what it is, but I think the Patriots would be smart to go find the guy that they believe this is our future wide receiver one, the guy that we believe has the upside to just take this offense over the top. We can have with Drake May for the next 10 years type of thing. That's what I do. A Rodgers Devontae type of thing. Boy, was that fun. If you can get one of those, woo-wee, hard to stop that type of thing.
For sure.
All right. Dolphins, last team. I mean, obviously quarterback is, Tua could be a cap casualty. They might still look to cut him. They need edge. They need a receiver now that they got rid of Chubb and Tyreek Hill, and they need some DBs. So where are you going with the Dolphins?
And one thing that I hate about new jobs, they got to start allowing these coaches to say, hey, listen, if I'm coming in with a loser organization, let me clean house with everybody. Let me get my quarterback in. Let me get my defensive captain in. So I kind of like how and they're going to cut to it. Trust me, no matter. I think the Dolphins are okay with this cap hit this year, maybe next year, and then they're going to let Jeff Hafley build this team from the inside out. I mean, just you gotta have it's quarterback game. You gotta have your guy. Period. So I mean, they have to address quarterback.
What would you do?
I mean, he like I said, I would go get a Malik Willis, a vet. I wouldn't bring a rookie in. I wouldn't draft anybody. I would bring a vet in that has some potential that I could do something with. Malik Willis.
Jameis, perhaps.
I'm not bringing neither one of those. They're Kirk Cousins done. Jameis Winston is trash. I would bring Malik Willis in, give him a shot, bring him down to Miami. But I wouldn't draft a guy. I would use my draft picks to kind of build a defense. You're a defensive coach. Go build your defense how you want. Get you some edge rush. Get you some guys in the middle. So I would build defense and then allow the offense to kind of, because to me, I think offense is more scheme than anything. I keep telling you, Puka Nakuas and Cooper Kupps, they're not just these elite guys. It's all scheme. So if you can get your OC that can scheme an offense, you'll be okay. But you definitely need your defense like Seattle. So Jeff Hafley, build your defense any and everywhere, but definitely cut Tua. That's a move that I would do. Cut Tua.
Yeah,
cannot bring that guy back. He's a cancer in your locker room.
I'm interested because of the quarterback thing with the Dolphins. You clearly are in it. You're hitting the button on the rebuild thing. with the amount of people that you're getting rid of, the amount of dead cap you got, and the amount more dead cap you're going to have by moving Tua, it's going to be really hard. I really like Malik Willis for the Dolphins, but it's going to be really hard to give Malik Willis money, even on 2 years, even on what's considered a smaller quarterback deal. You might not be able. You just simply might not be able to. And at that point, it's just like, shit, well, do we just run it out with Quinn Ewers and draft a quarterback in the third round, a guy who can come into camp, compete? Because it's going to be hard for them to invest money at the most expensive position in the league. So I agree with you that obviously quarterback's priority A1 here, and Malik Willis would be an awesome option. I just don't know how the hell that they make that work with what they got going on right now. So where I'm going to go is, like you said, with defense. Jeff Hafley is in town. Do what the Seahawks did with Mike McDonald. They gave you the blueprint to how to make this work with a defensive play calling head coach, right? Load the F up on the defensive side of the ball with your head coach who calls the defense. Any type of cornerback addition would be a huge upgrade for them. The defense could really use a youth movement here, right? Like Minkah Fitzpatrick is 29. Jordan Brooks is 28. Sidelinr is 31 in September. And honestly, man, I'm just building around Jordan Brooks. Similar, the Packers, Jeff Hafley with Edrin Cooper, amazing stuff. Even Quay Walker sucked, but like you saw more flashes with him. So I think Jeff Hafley with Jordan Brooks is going to be an awesome pairing. Jordan Brooks obviously coming off of being a first-team All-Pro this season with one of the best linebacker seasons in Dolphins history with 20 run stuffs, led the NFL in tackles with 183. Dude did not miss any tackle. He was a force against the run, was an asset against the pass. So just build around him. You obviously moved Bradley Chubb. You traded Jalen Phillips last season. You do have Chop Robinson, a really nice young edge rusher piece to have. But outside of him, it's a bunch of who? Never heard of this guy. Oh, boy. Who? So you got to go build up there. And, yeah, I'm all in on just invest everything you got into that defense. But also, your two wide receivers are 5'10", Jalen Waddle, and 5'8", Malik Washington. The rest of wide receiver depth is trash, and you can do without. So you got to go get yourself a receiver who's at least just 6 foot, for the love of God. You got a tiny little fast little wide receiver room. You got to go get a big dog now at wide receiver too. So, but I'm leaning all in on the defensive side of the ball with the Jets here. But all right, we've ran this one long per usual. Once again, we're doing really good at that at least. So there's that. Appreciate y'all sticking around with us till that point. This is going to get interesting talking sports without football. But we're going to do our damn best. Hang in there with more basketball, baseball talk coming up. But until Friday, hope the rest of y'all have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you Friday.
Peace out.